Somewhere in the middle of everything, there was a young seeker who thought intuition was something you either had or didn't. He kept squinting at the horizon, hoping for a sign. One day, an old engineer of light handed him 3 mirrors. "The first mirror," said the engineer, "shows you what you already know. The second shows you what you believe you know. The third shows what happens when the first 2 signals agree." The young one looked. In the first mirror, he saw his memories. Every hunch that turned out right. Every whisper of insight ignored. In the second, he saw his doubt. The way he dismissed those whispers as coincidence. And in the third mirror, nothing yet. "Why is it empty?" he asked. The engineer smiled, because action hasn't met trust. This is how intuition actually works. Input, sensory data, emotion, subtle pattern recognition. Then interference pattern. Your conscious beliefs collide with unconscious knowledge. Then resonance. When the 2 align, you experience a knowing. It's physics wearing a psychological code. We can call it harmonic collapse. NLP calls it unconscious competence. Your nervous system just calls it truth. Imagine every thought as an electric pulse through the grid of the universe. Every time you trust your insight, you increase coherence in the field. Every time you betray it, the signal scatters. That scattering shows up as confusion, missed timing, fatigue, karma in neurological clothing. So the reward for following intuition is not mystical. It's psychological clarity. And the punishment for ignoring it, it's simply losing signal strength. There were once 2 rivers. One flowed straight and narrow, believing the world was predictable. The other meandered, touching every stone, whispering to the roots, listening to the wind. When drought came, the first river dried quickly. The second still flowed underground, fed by what it had learned from everything it touched. That's intuition. Water remembering its own map. When you tell your mind stories like these, 3 things happen. You're matching the current experience. I've been confused before. You're offering a next step, and sometimes without knowing why, clarity returns. You're joining emotion to behavior. Each time clarity returns, trust grows easier. That's an Ericksonian structure. Gentle cause and effect. So before deciding, breathe and ask, what would the me who already knows do? Then act within 3 seconds. Why 3? Because that's the average window before the analytical mind overrides the limbic system. It's not superstition, it's neurobiology. Each time you act inside that window, you reinforce the neural pathway that connects body data with conscious choice. That's intuition practice in lab form. Ignore it, and you live in echo. Always reacting, always late. Follow it, you live in rhythm. Decisions land before they're required. One future is spent patching leaks in the dam. The other surfs the current of what's already moving. Neither is punishment, just feedback. Of course, life doesn't hand you gold stars for spiritual progress. Sometimes it slaps you upside the head and says, "You knew better, didn't you?" That's the universe's comedic timing. If you can laugh when you realize you did know better, you install the learning instantly. Humor collapses resistance faster than any mantra. So as you picture the seeker holding those mirrors again, notice how the third one is no longer empty. It reflects motion, him walking forward, trusting the next step before the ground appears. That isn't a command. It's a demonstration of self-coherence. Every time you recall it, neurons fire in harmony. Electricity finds its rhythm. And perhaps, somewhere inside, you might begin to sense that line between logic and intuition was never real. Just two sides of the same current finding balance in your breath.